What is good? A lot going on today. We definitely going to get back to your calls about, uh, uh, Jamal Bryant and Bishop Wooten,
Yeah.
with them going back and forth. And Bishop Wooten too old for that, King. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna keep it real.
That's just
He should know better. He should know better than that.
Yeah.
All right. So we get back to y'all religious folks in a minute. Right now is all about I said religion. It's all it's all about the our Cleveland schools, man. Dr. Morgan, I mentioned earlier that he would be here. Man, how you been?
Oh man, I've been good. We are just coming back off of break,
Yep.
so it was a great holiday.
Yeah.
I know I needed it. I got a chance to spend some time with family, so it was great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so we got to do a lot of catching up. So we've had some schools that are merging.
Yes, sir.
And some people don't understand, some understand. So we wanted to make sure that we gave everybody an opportunity to know exactly what is going on with their schools.
Yeah. So our board just unanimously approved our Building Brighter Futures plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure everyone understands it's called Building Brighter Futures for a reason.
Yeah.
The primary reason we did this plan is because not every student in CMSD has access to a high quality education. Right now, only 59% of our high schools offer career pathways. Those are those trade programs. So that means that there are some students, based on the high school they go to, they don't have the opportunity to take career pathways. Only 78% of high schools offer college credit programs, taking AP or taking college credit courses that you can take in high school. And only 38% of our elementary schools offer enrichment courses like Algebra 1 in 8th grade, or the ability to learn how to play an instrument, take a foreign language. So Building Brighter Futures is our plan to ensure that every kid in every school, no matter where they live, their background, where they come from, has access to a high quality education. So through Building Brighter Futures, 100% of our high schools will offer college and career. And 100% of our elementary schools will offer those enrichment courses. And we'll also have 100% of our students in new or upgrade buildings over time. And so this is our plan to give a brighter future for our scholars and ensure that they have a high quality education, while at the same time dealing with our nearly $150 million deficit that we'll be seeing in 3 years. So by taking 29 schools offline next year, starting next year, we'll be able to do that.
Now, some people didn't hear that number. I want you to repeat that number. How much money?
150 million.
That you have to come up with a plan for, right?
Yes, sir.
And if you don't come up with that plan, it's only going to get what? Worse.
It only gets worse. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So making these schools, again, making things better. And the plan is about, you say about 3 years?
Yeah, so we'll save money over the next 3 years.
Right. You
but
save
we're
money.
actually implementing it now, and it all starts next year. So those 29 schools close next year.
So what happens to those schools that will close?
Yeah, so
those buildings, what will happen with those?
Yeah, so there are 29 schools, but 18 buildings that we own that we'll have to figure out a reuse for. And so we're working with the city of Cleveland on how we might repurpose some of those buildings. We are working to see how, what we may use some of those buildings for. Our central office, we've been downtown for a while, and when our lease ends in 2028, we may need a space for that. And I know people have been asking, why are you guys still downtown leasing that spaces? Well, our lease goes until 2028, and so this gives us the opportunity that we may be able to use some of our old buildings for office spaces. So we're working now with that plan, but there are 18 buildings that we own, because we also have some lease properties that we're ending. That we are not using anymore.
And what should special education families expect?
Special education families should expect the services that we are not only required to provide by law, but just ensuring that all of our kids, including our special education students and even our students who learn with different languages, have access to those high quality programs too. So when we're saying all students will have access to the career pathways and access to the college credit programs, that's inclusive of students who learn differently. And we need to make sure we continue to provide those accommodations, provide the resources. All of our students at a school that is closing has a welcoming seat at a school that is receiving, and the portal just opened yesterday.
Okay.
So families, if they go to choosecmsd.org, you can go on there to find out what your welcoming school is, or choose another school, because we're an open enrollment district, and whether you're special education or any of our students, all of our students, you will have the option to have a high quality welcoming seat.
With some of those cuts, as far as the schools closing, what about the principals, the teachers? Where will they go?
Yeah, so we have been working with our school leaders really for a year now, because of course when there are buildings that come offline, for our administrators, we've been very transparent that we're going to have less administrators. Right now, we're going from about 88, 89 traditional schools to 59 next year. So we're going to need less administrators. And so before the break, and even a little bit before the plan got announced, all of our school leaders, in terms of principals, knew exactly where they are. They know if they are going to one of the receiving schools. They know if they're displaced, and they're working through their options. We're now about to start working through our assistant principals and some of those other groups to figure out their options. When it comes to teachers and other staff, right now, between vacancies and attrition, we may end up right where we need to be, but the first thing we need to do is figure out the enrollment in our building. So that's why it's really important right now for families to make a choice.
Yeah.
The school choice portal is open from, it opened yesterday, and it'll be open until February 27th. That'll help us determine the staffing, and then we'll know exactly where we'll land with teachers and all of our other staff, including central office.
Yeah, yeah. Kira, you got a question?
No, I was actually, he just answered the
You
question.
had that look.
Yeah,
Like, I have a
yes.
question right now.
Yes.
Yeah, and one other thing I wanted to say, because it's not only just the money. People often ask, like, why is there a need right now? And one of the things, we've been doing community engagement for a year, and actually a little bit over a year. When I first came in as the CEO, I did my listening tour. I listened to families. They talked about having high quality options no matter where they go. They talked about making sure that there was a middle school experience in our elementary school. So a lot of this is in response to them, to the feedback we've been hearing for a few years now, as well as the mayor when he did his listening tour, and the board did their tour as well. But we, over the past 20 years, we've lost over 50% of our enrollment. In 2004, we had 70,000 students in CMSD. In 2024, we were at about 35,000. So that's over 50% of our enrollment. And people often say, where are those kids? Are they choosing private schools? Are they going to charter schools?
Yeah.
No. The major decline are birth rates. People are not having kids at the rate they once were. And that's not only in Cuyahoga County, it's not only in our city, it's in the state, it's in the nation, it's in the world.
Let me see what I need to do when I get home to help them.
You stay out of that. Now, for families who won't have a school closer to them, what is that going to look like for them as far as transportation and things like that?
Actually, through this plan, there is, on average, our students live less than a mile from a CMSD school, even through this plan. So there is a school near our students. But we're an open choice district. So families can choose whatever school they want. We will still provide transportation for students who live between a mile and 3 miles. And for all kids that in a closing school, so if your building is closing and you're merging into another school for 2 years, even if you live beyond that 3 miles, we'll provide transportation to your welcoming school. And so that's something we're giving to our families. Now, of course, if you live less than a mile, you're within walking distance. But the good news is, even with this plan, the average student lives less than a mile from a CMSD school.
Okay. So, Dr. Morgan, let's do this. We're going to take some phone calls. All right, parents, call me. Whatever your questions are, we're going to try to get those answered. He took the time out to hang out with me today.
Absolutely.
All right?
Yes, sir.
And so when he said boots on the ground, when you first got here, I saw it with my own eyes. I saw you out in the community, brother. So you definitely, this is not a job. This is not a job for you. You know what I'm saying?
Mission work.
That's right. So let's take the phone calls right now. 578-0931, Z to the AK. All right, get some calls right quick.